Well, that's what I forgot to mention is this pot here, which was started off red on the surface, is gone green now. It stunk like heaven. It went through a stage of smelling like a piggery, really like a piggery. So let's just go to spot colour, and it might be important getting some. So, bugger. We can get it. Yeah, there we go. I think. Okay, so it smelled like a piggery, and now I think it's going to start to, if it stays, it might start developing moss on it. So it's a bit like our sphagnum in a way, our green sphagnum in a way to a certain extent. So yeah, back to normal focus. Just boiling some water in the shed, as you can probably hear, and I'm going to pour some hot water into some bran here, which I'm going to do there. Basically, I've got 3 bags because I think it's going to shrink down. I'm basically eventually going to do like 50-50, but it may be a case of keeping the organics down to 1/3 and keeping the sand down to 1/3, so we have a lot more polystyrene in there with your charcoal as well, of course. I said the charcoal doesn't have to be too much, I don't think. It seems like whether you can replace polystyrene with something else, is there something natural out there that acts a bit like polystyrene, or is that what we're going to find out the bark chips are actually doing? I don't know. Yeah, do you just need phenolics and a reductive flammable gas source of sorts? But I've had a look at photographs in the past, going out to Finnbog and looking at the ground, whether you got this, bonata coming out of this skeletal soil that seems to be, barely a centimetre thick, sort of thing, but with quite boldness and robustness, a lot of thrive, a lot of vigour. What's the other word they use in horticulture? Thrift. Thrift? No, that's not really quite the word, is it? Thrift? Okay, but we'll see how we go. But I'll just put the camera on this other, rest it on if I can get it on the other bucket here. Is that a good idea, Richard? I might just. Anyway, so it's just sort of natural bran sort of thing. I think that's the details, but it's not going to pick that up, I don't think, because I haven't got it on spot cullen, but I don't think it's going to pick up on that. But anyway, it might do if I keep it. Oh, we'll see, probably a blur or something. I'll just check if the thing is. Straight off the boil. Maybe not have the camera so close. Okay. How about that? So hopefully that'll get in there. As I said, I've learnt to impregnate the sand. So I'm all set with that. Once I understand what it is in the inorganics, whatever is in the charcoal that gives our nice red goodness and how to keep the redness, then I'll impregnate some sand and try that. But and I said it takes only 9 days to properly impregnate, which is the same amount of time the bottles take to bring. So I think that's too much of a coincidence. But as you can see, it's absorbing the water there. So once it's cooled down, that should be absorbed. So it looks like one jug load or 1.6 litres to the line is enough to do 1 500 gram bag, and I think we're only going to need 2 bags, and that'll be enough to do half a bucket, I think. And so basically another jug load, so it'll be like 50-50, 1.6, that'll be 3.2, and with a litre of that, 4 gets you, yeah, okay, so it's basically going to expand slightly, I think, to give you 5 litres. So basically, basically 3 litres of water, 1 litre of bran, and then you get an extra added litre or space of volume due to its slight expansion. So anyway, I'm going to now probably go and have a coffee. I might set up one more bottle with some handful of the newspaper cellular pellets down the bottom instead of so it'll be non-phenolic-y cellulose sort of thing down the bottom with charcoal on the top and see what happens, and we'll get results back in 9 days. So that will be 9 days, end of the first week of May, I think. Will be probably the next clip, and there may be other clips coming out because the season's starting up. But it's a bit funny, as it's going to be like 27, maybe even 30 next week, after having days with a bit of chill off the Antarctic back again. So we'll see if the Umluftiaunas colour up and see how we go. And I haven't forgotten that Rodrigo Patron wants, I think Patron means president, so he's the president of the Mexican Society. He wants one of my Umluftiaunas, I think, so I haven't forgotten about that. So when they got into their dormancy, I'll see if they divide up as they go into the dormancy. I'll send him one, and I'll film sending him one, and you'll get a kick out of it and see how it gets through to him, how it ends up on his side, sort of thing. But remember, you can't send me any of that sort of stuff here. It can only be seed. So if you want a few clips, if I get to the Stirling Ranges or something, or something like that, and take some, get to taking 4K, and you want a clip or a couple of clips, blah blah blah, you know, a good decent pinch of seed will probably get you a clip. If you want the whole series sort of thing, well, send us a good way. Common stuff, I'm only interested in common stuff, you know, things I haven't grown for years sort of thing, you know, anything Bananiforme mania, anything Bananiforme mania. Any form. As I said, the best one I've ever seen is the Gibson form. That comes out of Canberra, I think. Someone in Canberra's got that, so that's very good. Very sturdy, single prong, red and green Christmas looking, very red, very green, very sturdy. So it's basically like your Staghorn version, but it only divides like the normal type. So, and it's very colourful, very red, very green. So it's like a Christmas FU to the flower, you know. How many more years? Jeez, do you think he's going to get caught up in the Panama Papers and end up down at Gitmo? Jeez, I mean, I'd be laughing my cotton socks if that happened somehow. His name crops up in the Panama Papers, and Trump says, "Oi, get your ass down to Gitmo, sunshine. Get the flowery down to Gitmo. Prepare for the kill boxes." It's going to be a glorious 2018. I don't know. Geez, I'd have to get the top champagne. I really would have to buy the top champagne or the best cider in the world for that. I think, oh, Jesus, standing room only, surely, for that. If the flowery ends up down at Gitmo, because somehow he pops up in the Panama Papers, selling ripping tubies out of the bush and sending them around the world, somehow he's had to open up a Cayman Island account or something, or he's, I don't know, got onto a plane to one of these Alita Expresses to Jeffrey Epstein's island. I don't know. He's talked his way in there somehow. I don't know. Just speculating wildly here, sunshine. But geez, that would just kept my year off if that happened. Flowery ends up down at Gitmo. Somehow he gets caught up in the web and gets his ass sucked down. They just sort of scoop him up one night or something, and he's on a big plane flight down there.